X, Eon, Adam, X, Uno, make it 12, X.
Hello friends, and welcome to another video. My name is Kelsey Ann. Today we are going to be walking through the steps that I go through for my toddler's routine. I have a 2-month-old. I also have an 8-month-old. For the sake of this video, I just want to look at the routine that I go through with my toddler. So we're just going to go through the steps that I take each evening with him. Just what I do to get him down at night with as little fuss as possible. So before we get started, if you're new here, welcome. I'm so glad to have you, and welcome back if you are a returning viewer. I am so glad to have all of you guys here. If you haven't yet, make sure and subscribe to this channel if you're interested in getting more content, and give this video a like if you are enjoying it as we go along. Without further ado, let's jump right into the video. Whether you have one child or multiple, it's just a challenge to be able to wind down the day and just get a calm atmosphere for the evening. And the hard part too is that even when you get a routine down, the reality is your children are growing and changing, and so what may have worked when they were younger maybe doesn't work anymore. And I've actually done a couple different videos about evening routines and kind of walking you through those routines, one of which was one of my earlier videos, but I'm going to link it down below for you to check it out if you're looking for a routine that was when my toddler was a little bit younger. I don't remember how old he was, but I'll link that down below. You can go check that out. It was before my daughter was born. And then the second routine I did more recently, but it was sort of more of a vlog style where you follow me along for my evening, and just basically a fly on the wall for my evening. And the day that I was filming that was one of the roughest evenings as far as my toddler was concerned. It was one of the roughest evenings I had had in a while. He was super crabby and tired, and I don't even remember what was going on. And so it didn't end up being the video that I had originally planned. But it's very real, it's actual life, because those evenings I feel like sometimes happen more often than the perfect evenings. So if you want to check that out, I'm going to have that one linked in the description as well. So for this one, I thought it would be just helpful to really have a more formal walkthrough of the ideal evening routine with my toddler, and just sort of the steps that I take with him every evening, since that wasn't really depicted well in that earlier evening routine. Okay, so the first thing that I try to implement as much as possible every day is just getting a lot of active time and a lot of daylight. So sending him to play outside, playing with him outside, letting him run around and play and have fun is really important, because if he's coming into bedtime and he just has all this pent-up energy, it's not going to help him wind down or relax. It's really going to be a struggle for him, because he wasn't really able to be active and do, what little boys want to do, or kids in general want to do during the day. So just trying to make sure that he gets out, even if we're having a busy day, just finding time to let him run around, but basically just making sure he has a lot of time to just do things that are going to make him tired at the end of the day, and also to just get that daylight in, because this is really important for babies, but it also is important for any human beings. Just as much daylight and sunlight that you can get in during the day is really going to help you be able to wind down and relax when the sun starts to go down in the evening. And so I really like him to get that outdoor time when he can. Just, yes, wear your kids out before bedtime and get that daylight in, get that sunshine in. After Malachi's had dinner, the evening's kind of winding down. I start getting him in his pajamas and brush his teeth. Now, I used to do this like right up against his bedtime. Like when it was bedtime, that was part of his routine. He's older now, so he doesn't need this long, extended routine, which I'm saying that, but I'm kind of thinking he has sort of a long routine anyway, because that's our one-on-one time. But as far as just getting his mind and his brain there, he's old enough to know, okay, this is bedtime. If I tell him, he understands what's going on. This is an example of something that I did differently in the past that I've now changed. I try to get him in his pajamas a little bit earlier, because otherwise it's just become a battle. He's really upset that he has to go to bed, and therefore he doesn't want to get his jammies on, and so I'm fighting him on that, and it's just one more thing that I don't want to have to deal with. So it really helps to get him in his pajamas a little bit early. extends that evening a little bit more and makes it a little bit smoother. And then of course, brush his teeth. I don't always bathe him in the evening because he doesn't wind down with baths. Sometimes I'll just bathe him in the middle of the afternoon, say, you know, he's been outside playing and he's just really dirty. I'm not really a stickler about giving him a bath in the evening, but you know, if he needs a bath and it's evening time and we have the ability, I will pop him in the bath. Usually once he's gotten ready for bed and maybe played a little bit if he has the time, we will then do a bit of a house pickup. And that just looks like I try to get everything that they played with that came out of the bedrooms, everything that Malachi and Violet would have played with throughout the day, back into the bedrooms. So Malachi will help me with his stuff if he's got cars everywhere, which is usually what comes out of the bedroom or Hot Wheels. Everything that came out of the room goes back into the room. I don't worry about cleaning everything at that point, usually because I just don't have enough time, but also because the focus there is getting him to bed, and once he is in his room and the door is shut, I won't be going in and out of there cleaning, so everything else can just wait until later. So after we've done our little pickup, this is something that I've started doing that I didn't used to do with him, but as he fought bedtime more as he got older, this is something that I found actually has really helped with his settling down and being prepared to go to bed. So I will carry him through the yard a little bit and through the house. It doesn't have to be a long thing, but we'll walk through the yard first and we'll just say goodnight to stuff. That's literally it. We will say goodnight to the moon. We will say goodnight to the clouds. We'll say goodnight to the cars. We'll say goodnight to the neighbors. We're just walking around saying goodnight to stuff. Oh, goodnight to the dog. Goodnight to the windows. Goodnight to the door. If my husband Andy is home, he'll say goodnight to Dad and goodnight to his sister Violet if she's still up, although usually she's in bed by now. And we just walk around saying goodnight to stuff. It doesn't take that long, but as we're saying goodnight to stuff, we're progressively getting closer and closer to his bedroom till we're at his door. Okay, we say goodnight to his door, goodnight to his toys, goodnight to his bed, and we're in his bedroom. I usually will shut his blinds and his curtains and get the sound machine going with some white noise, and then I like to turn on his little lamp. We'll turn all the overhead lights off if they're on at all, but just getting that atmosphere set for a cozy evening is really beneficial to his brain and just helping him wind down. We'll do a little bit of a pickup if that's needed in his bedroom, because I really like to have a clean home and a clean bedroom when he wakes up in the morning. If we don't have time for that and it's late, we're running behind, I don't worry about it, but usually we're able to get to that. And sometimes I'll just be the one cleaning while he picks out a couple books. Now every night he gets to pick out 2 books, and sometimes we'll exceed that, but usually I try and keep it to 2. He will sit on his bed and I will read to him. Now, if he is in bed early, like if he's in bed by 7:30, I will let him just read on his own if he wants that, because he's not quite ready to go to sleep by 7:30 usually. So I will just leave him, and this is something I began doing actually when Violet was very young, when she was a newborn, because I could not manage both of them at the same time. And so I just would pop him into his room, be like, here, read some books, and I would go take care of her. So this was just a lifesaver for me when I had a newborn and a toddler. But now I've just continued to implement that, and I really like it. He gets him into bed a little bit earlier, but it doesn't mean he has to go to sleep if he's not ready. It helps his body wind down from the day, and he's able to just have some time to himself, which he always actually appreciates. I'll sit down and read to him, and then he lays down on his bed, and we have snuggles and kisses and tickles. After that, I have a little bit of essential oil that I rub on his temple. He lays down and I pray for him every night, and he often likes to pray as well, so we'll take turns. And I just started rubbing his back. He's a very snuggly, touchy-feely kid, and so he's really liked my rubbing his back at night, and that helps him, encourage him to lay down and just relax. So I'll pray for him while I rub his back, and then he'll pray, and after that we will blow kisses and say goodnight, and I walk out and shut the door. Just having this evening routine, having the time to be able to put into this has helped wind him down, has really helped the evening to go so much smoother. So that is everything that I do with Malachi in the evening. Like I said before, it doesn't always look like this. Ideally, this is what I aim for every night. Some evenings come with more tears than others, and Sometimes he just needs more snuggles, sometimes he needs more space. So just being able to adjust that as his needs are and just as mine are as well. The goal of a lot of the habits that I set now in my evening routine is to help set us up for a better morning, because if I get up in the morning and say my kitchen's a wreck or the living room's a mess, it just really starts off the day on a bad foot and just feels like it makes it really hard to catch up. I'm so glad you were able to join me for this video. Do you do things differently than you used to? How has that sort of evolved over the years of your children growing? Let me know in the comments. I'd love to chat with you all. I try and post weekly, but I did miss a few videos recently because we had some sick kiddos and I caught a cold as well, and I just was kind of busy and not able to get the filming and editing done that I needed to. My main priority is to God and my family and my household first. This channel comes after, so I really want to keep my priorities straight, make sure that I'm focusing on my home, and I don't ever want this to become more important than my homemaking, more important than what God has put in front of me right now. And I'm so thankful to have the opportunity to be able to film these videos and produce this content. There's a lot of growth still that needs to be done as far as the process of putting out this content. I'm learning so much. I'm really enjoying it. I really want to produce good quality content for you all, but my home does come first, and it will always come first. But I should be back on track this week, so keep an eye out for another video. Thank you again for joining me, and I will look forward to seeing you all very soon. Bye. You have to brush your tongue. Take out your tongue. What color is your tongue?
Pink.
Pink. All right, spin your face. Ready?
La 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 la.
Say it into the mic.
Say testing, testing.
Testing, testing. Says
Go.
go. La oh, and people la
Wait,
do.
Psalm 4:8.
La do.